Hey there, Cancer. Welcome to your reading for the week of October 6th. You have this new life card and this yin energy card. The yin energy card is like a passive energy. It's kind of like, just chilling out, having a good time. I'm sure you love when people tell you to chill out, right? But, very good energy for just chill energy this week. The new life card literally says you could be entering into a new life. I feel it's more like Cancer is creating the life they desire. And so is it like completely new? Probably not. But, I feel you are creating a lot of changes right now, Cancer. And they will probably be very good for you just in general. You start here in your current general energies with the Page of Cups and Queen of Cups wanted to come out together, Ace of Cups and the Magician. Some of you could have like an admirer with the Page of Cups if you want love. Obviously, you always get love with me, Cancer, but you're a Cancer. You also have Jupiter in your sign, so it's like, I don't know. I think that when Jupiter is in your sign, it makes you stand out, makes you more attractive. So you probably have like a million people that are interested here, but whatever, take it how it resonates. If you want love, definitely looks very good. The Queen of Cups is you. So whenever you show up as yourself, that puts you in a position of power and strength and allows you to get what you want from the reading. The Queen of Cups, the whole entire reading also is kind of saying that you need to follow your heart. You have this card that says a merry motive in your next row. The merry motive card is about like making success lighter, doing things for the right reasons in your life, doing things because they excite you, they bring you joy, happiness, they make you feel love. Again, it doesn't have to be a person. I'm just talking about the energy of love. And so I do feel both of these cards are kind of like, really the entire freaking reading is saying that you should be following your heart at this time. You literally have the Ace of Cups, which is the card of like your heart, right? The Ace of Cups kind of is like that merry motive card. The Ace of Cups is a card of being able to fulfill yourself. That cup can reach down in the water and fill itself back up whenever it wants. So, it's a card of doing those things in life that you can do endlessly, never-ending energy, doing the things that give you never-ending energy. And there's just a good vibe going on here for you, Cancer, this week. It might be a little bit more of a chill week. Like I said, you might not be, it's like maybe there isn't like a ton of action here and stuff like that. But at the same time, it looks like a good week to kind of like recharge and heal. Also good for love, like I said, if you want love. Next, you have the Magician. The Magician is about manifestation, of course. For you, I feel this is about change, because we go up here to the to the Death card with the Four of Pentacles, and, the Magician has this snake here. The snake represents reinvention and reinventing yourself. The Death card is kind of like changing yourself in some ways or changing your beliefs. And the Four of Pentacles can represent holding on too tightly to things that need to change. So I do feel it would be a good time to look at those, belief systems or ideas that are holding you back. Maybe not even as well. It's like, this doesn't have to be good or bad. It can be like looking at both sides of things, even things that make you feel better. I would be kind of like focusing on those beliefs as well, and doubling down on the good stuff, of course. But also, again, anything that you want to change, it could be a good time for you to change. I feel that this comes up for you a lot, Cancer. Like, I feel like saying to you that you need to look at your tools. He has mastery over all the suits in the tarot. And so he can use whatever tool he wants for his job. But he needs to realize that he has to pick a tool and try it. And if one tool doesn't work for his job, like let's say he's using his Ace of Wands and trying to be creative, it's like maybe he needs to be more logical or with the swords, or maybe he needs to use his pentacles, or maybe he needs to be more emotionally attached to what he's working on or creating in his life. And I feel it would be a good week for you to look at the tools you're using for, pretty much everything in your life and to decide which tool should I be using. And again, only you can figure that out, right? One thing I will say as well is that the Magician, sometimes I feel the Magician can say you need to have a new beginning, and you have the Death card in the Four of Pentacles. It's kind of like saying there's some sort of new beginning that is trying to come out here. With the Queen of Cups and the Page of Cups, you have the Six of Swords, which is moving on to calmer shores. This could be an improvement in your life in general, mostly because you're showing up as yourself with that Queen of Cups. So a lot of you could be focused on improvements. If you're trying to improve your love life, then this could be improvements in your love life as well. So, I kind of just feel like you're heading towards calmer shores. Again, the whole entire reading is very calm, chill energy here. So a lot of you seem to be like trying to get into that vibe. With the Ace of Cups, you have the King of Wands. Yeah, you could be attracting a very bold, assertive person. Could be any sign. You have fire, you have air, you have water, you have everything showing up here. So it could be any sign that's coming in for you. But, it could be a person who's very bold and assertive. I also feel like you need to be more bold and assertive here, Cancer. The King of Wands encourages us to be, like, confident. And so being more confident in yourself. You even have the King of Swords. The King of Swords could be about you being more confident in what you know. It says that, you have the Four of Pentacles, Four Swords in the row with the King of Swords. I'm kind of reaching a little bit, but, that could say you are holding back on your information or what you know in life, and you need to kind of, like, set yourself free. The King of Wands is also kind of like futuristic. He has, I think something people forget about him is that he is an innovator, and he can have very, like, innovative, visionary ideas for his life. And so if you have any visionary ideas or any futuristic ideas for, like, where you're going or what you're doing, I would make sure that you're, like, supporting those ideas and working on them, because they probably will create a change with the Death card right here. Next, with the Magician, you have the Ace of Wands. So maybe the Ace of Wands, those are the ace versions of the suits in front of him on the Magician. So maybe this is the energy you need to work with, like being more creative. Ace of Wands is out with the old and with the new. I'm wondering, like, we have this full moon on Monday, on the 6th, in Aries, and I'm kind of like wondering if that is pushing you towards doing something like new, or if it's pushing you to be more like creative or something like that. And so I would tap into that creativity. And, it could also be that it's pushing you to kind of like close out cycles or something. I don't know. It's popping into my head that way, Cancer. I'm not saying this is like accurate astrology or anything, but, that's kind of what I feel with the Ace of Wands. It's like pushing you to practice out with the old, in with the new, and to create a change. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, here you go. You have this Healing the Heart card and this Merry Motive card. Yes, with the Ace of Cups, the Page of Cups, that doesn't even have to be love. That could absolutely, with that Yin energy card, which is a more passive energy, it could be good for a week for you to just heal, and maybe not, again, maybe this isn't even love. It could just say that you're doing more things in your life that you do love, and you're doing things for the right reasons, which could be the thing that heals your heart, right? The Merry Motive card, again, is about, what popped into my head at the beginning of the reading is making success lighter. It's like maybe you think to be successful, you have to, like, work hard or, do all these things. And, it's popping into my head that it could be easier. And I feel like that's what this card is saying. It's like saying, your success could be a lot easier, but you have to allow it to be a lot easier. And I definitely would here, Cancer. You have the Five of Wands, the Death card, and the Five of Pentacles. Five of Wands can be conflict and competition. I feel like some of you are, like, too focused on competition in something like that you want. It could be work-related, love-related, whatever. But the Five of Wands can say that, yeah, maybe you see a lot of competition. I feel like I said this to you in the October readings that I just did for you, Cancer. It's like, I feel like you're maybe too focused on competition, or you're thinking that there's too much competition when really there isn't. Or it's like, I don't know, I feel like this could be a competition that you could, I don't want to say that you're going to easily win it, but I feel like you could if you tried it, whatever the competition is. It could even be for, like, a job with the Four of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles can be a card of, like, holding yourself at the same level when you should be leveling up, right? And, I feel like the Five of Wands is almost encouraging you to enter into a competition. Maybe not literally, but, this could be like you asking for a raise or promotion, you applying for a position that you think there's a lot of competition for, something like that. You have the Death card. The Death card can, of course, be a big change. There's clearly a big change coming in for you here. Magician, Ace of Wands, Death, Four of Pentacles. It's like something needs to change in your life. Something needs to undergo a transformation. The Death card can be a little bit scary. All the people, like the King is dead, the this priest here, this pope-looking guy, is begging for his life. This lady doesn't even want to look at him, but the child is excited. Cancer. Cancer is the sign of children. So I feel like you need to realize that, you should have a childlike outlook on something new that's coming in for you. The child is the only person on the card. He's holding flowers up to the Death Rider because, children are usually like excited for change. They are excited to do something new. They're excited to ask questions. And they are, happy with changes and things like that. So, I literally feel the card is just saying it's time for change. You have the Five of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles, again, fives have very easy solutions in the tarot. Five of Pentacles can be like all the reasons why you think you can't do something, but Five of Pentacles says you need to focus on the reasons why you can't. It's a card of focusing on your strengths, not your weaknesses. And that's basically what I would do here. I do feel this seems to be a good week for money, by the way. And you go from the Five of Pentacles to the Ten of Pentacles here. The King of Swords can be like a person who has a very simple answer for you. And it could be any gender. It doesn't have to be a man. But also, the King of Swords doesn't have to necessarily be a person you know. Like, if you're trying to solve a problem, this could be someone that you learn from, someone that has something to teach you, like online or something like that. So I would be paying attention to information. Here you go. With the Five of Wands, you have the Page of Cups. So there is competition in love, or you think there's competition for a person or something. And this could also be a person who's interested in you, Cancer. It's like they could think there's competition for you. So take it how it resonates, but Page of Cups is a good card of like the admirer. It is a good card for love. So there could be a very good connection that's coming in for you here if you want it. I would be open to it if you want it, right? The Four of Pentacles says, we can't be too closed off. And even that Healing the Heart card here can be about healing your past love story so that you can create a new love story, which I think would be good. Here you go. With the Death card, you have the Lovers. It's like only wanting to talk about love here in this reading. So if you want love, here you go, Cancer. Definitely a very solid connection. The Death card with the Lovers would be a change in your love life. So, obviously this could be a big change. I would also say that outside of love, the Lovers traditionally was a card of being at a crossroads, having a choice to make, but in love, obviously. But I think in a general reading that the Lovers can be a choice to make in general. And I really feel that Four of Pentacles, we're going to talk about it in just a second, but I really feel like that Four of Pentacles is saying, like, it's time to, like, get out of almost like Groundhog's Day energy, like Nine of Swords. We don't have the Nine of Swords here, but Nine of Swords is that round and round type of energy. And Four of Pentacles is kind of similar. Not really, but kind of, because he's been in the same life. He's holding on to everything he's always had. And it's preventing him from opening up to something more. It's preventing him from, exceeding his own expectations, which, I think as a collective, the time that we're in, like, we have to exceed our own expectations right now. With the Five of Pentacles, you have the Knight of Wands. Yeah, this would be like developing strength, really, with the Five of Pentacles. Again, Five of Pentacles is calling attention to your weaknesses. Knight of Wands is an adventure, but we could argue that this would be an adventure of you going and collecting strength, right? It's like sometimes you have to prove it to yourself that you are strong, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like going and doing things in life that prove to yourself that you can, overcome obstacles or, face challenges or, find love or whatever it is for you. And I would definitely encourage you to do that here with the Knight of Wands. So there you go. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this card that says, disappointment is not the end. It says, there's hope even in the darkest of nights. Four of Pentacles, we'll talk about it. You have this card that says, you are worthy. Yes, this is the secret sauce for your reading here. It says, you are worth it all, my love. So I think you need to believe that you deserve something. I feel like you've probably experienced too many disappointments, and maybe that's a problem. Four of Pentacles can just, he could just be holding on to his story. He could just be holding on to what has been his story for a long time. And, those are the very hard habits to break, Four of Pentacles, right? These are the hard things to get over, how things have always been. But he's holding on to it. He could easily let go of those Four of Pentacles, and who knows, maybe he would find the Ten of Pentacles. Your last card in this reading is the Ten of Pentacles, but he has to let go of what he has had all along first before he can create that Ten of Pentacles, right? And so I wouldn't really say this is about vulnerability, but it is about, he does have to be vulnerable. He has to take the risk of letting go of something that once served him, but maybe it doesn't any longer. He even has a city behind him, and the city behind him is where he's from. It's where he's always lived, but that's all he'll ever experience if he doesn't leave. So definitely a time for you to kind of like take those risks that where you put yourself out there. Again, I don't necessarily think it's you needing to be vulnerable, but there is like a little bit of that energy here, right? Obviously, if you're looking for a new job or if you're creating a business, it's like that's going to require you to take some sort of risk that could be vulnerability. So there you go. You have the Four of Swords. Overall, again, this week is a chill week. I think that you should be doing things to nurture yourself and heal yourself with the Four of Swords and that yin energy card and everything else, the Ace of Cups, right? The Ace of Cups wants you to do more of what you love. It wants you to focus on self-fulfillment. And even if you do want love, right? It's like the more fulfilled you are, the more chances are you're going to attract a person who is also more fulfilled, who doesn't need you and you don't need them, which those are like the best relationships when it's like two people who just, are happy, that want each other but don't need each other, right? So working on fulfillment is probably the trick here with the Four Swords. He's also kind of like hoping and praying for a blessing. There's a person blessing another person here in the stained glass window. So you could be receiving some sort of blessing with the Four Swords. You have the King of Swords. Yeah, information definitely popped into my head right away with this card. I feel like there is a lot of information, obviously, with the internet nowadays. We have endless amounts of information. But I literally feel there is like information that is going to lead from this to this. Five of Pentacles to the Ten of Pentacles. So I would be researching on purpose, right? I would be looking for answers or looking for ways to, improve your finances. Even if you're trying to get a new position in work or business or whatever, I would be looking for ways to like stand out with your resume, looking for, interview techniques, whatever it is that you need to look for. I feel information is going to be very valuable. With the Four of Pentacles, you have the King of Pentacles. Yes, King of Pentacles isn't a bad card, but again, he is the card of doing things the same way over and over and over again. He is the card of convention. He just does what works. And there really isn't anything wrong with that necessarily, but, there might be better ways that he could do things. There might be better ways he can work or love or whatever, and he just needs to evolve. So I always look at the King of Pentacles, as a card that encourages us to evolve, encourages us to change and get with the times and learn new things. So I definitely would. Very good for love, though. If you're attracting someone, King of Pentacles can be a person who really wants something long-term, someone who wants something serious. With the Four of Swords, you have the Eight of Wands. Every single person had the Eight of Wands in the October monthly readings that I did. So, maybe this is why this reading is encouraging you to take this first full week of October to rest, relax, recover. One thing I will say is we have Pluto going direct in the middle of the month. I guess I could see how Pluto direct is going to speed things up in the second half of the month for people. It's like Pluto retrograde, it's a very deep energy. It wants us to kind of like look deeply into things in life and wants us to explore the depths of things. So it can be an energy where we're trying to get to the bottom of problems, issues, challenges, but also good things as well. It wants us to go deep. And, this can be a slow energy. And so I kind of feel that maybe that's what the Eight of Wands is in the month of October, is that once we get to the middle of October, we're kind of like taken off. We could finally be released from that energy, and we could finally be implementing the changes that we've wanted to implement. With the King of Swords, you have the Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, don't be afraid to change, is what I say here. It's like, it kind of reminds me of, I think I always tell this story, but, it's like so many times. I've had so many people, like I teach YouTube on the weekends, and I've had so many students who are like, I really don't like doing YouTube. I'd rather like be a writer. I'm like, right. There are plenty of people that are very successful still writing online. It's like you don't have to do things a certain way. And that's what's popping into my head here for you, Cancer. It's like maybe, especially in work or business, but it could be anything. It's like maybe you think you have to do things a certain way, but maybe actually not. And, I feel this King of Swords could be, I'm not really getting inspiration here, but, it could be an idea that you're receiving from a person, or maybe someone is showing you that you can do things that like your life can be how you want it to be. You don't have to fit into this mold of the Four of Pentacles where everything is the same. And so I kind of feel this is a little bit of a breaking free energy. I like it. I think it's good for sure. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this cut your losses card. Basically what I just said. You have this process your feelings card. Yes, I mean, you will be, the beginning and end of retrogrades are always the strongest. So, being at the end of this Pluto retrograde, of course, it's going to be a little bit stronger. You could be processing your feelings about what you want in life, or where you want to go, or what you want to be. And yeah, I would just, like I said, it's a perfect week for you to just chill out and do those things. There's nothing wrong with it. You have the Three of Cups, Page of Swords, and the Ten of Pentacles. Three of Cups is a celebration. These three ladies are celebrating a harvest. You have the Ten of Pentacles here. You have the Seven of Pentacles as well. These are all, and even the King of Pentacles, these are really good harvest cards. And so if you've been working hard, you could be getting better results. Three of Cups is also about the people who really support you. There's something about this. I think, really, I think next year this will be, I don't want to say it's an issue, but I think it's something people should pay attention to. Once Neptune and Saturn go back into Aries, so basically by the end of February, I think people need to, pay more attention of who they listen to. It's like, like I always say, we have people that come from two places, love or fear, right? It's like, really, I think once, especially, like, we should probably start now before we get to next year, and I would. That's why I'm talking to you about this, is because I would start now. But I would make sure that you are surrounding yourself with those like concentrated connections, people who come from abundance, love, not fear, not worry, not doubt. And I would make sure that you're surrounding yourself with the right people. I just think that, especially Saturn in Aries, but also Neptune in Aries, I think that, it could be one of those things where it's like you want to grow in your career or start a business. It's like there are going to be some people that are like, I don't know if you should do that. It's like safety zone type of people. And same thing with love. It's like, I think you should be careful if you are getting into a relationship of who you listen to. Like, you might have friends that are like, oh, don't date that person. Don't do this. Don't do that. But it's like, where are they coming from? It's like, are they coming from love or fear, right? I don't know. I can't answer that question for you. Only you can. You have the Page of Swords. Yeah, coming up in the good stuff, it is a really good week, clearly, for you to look for answers. King of Swords popped into my head. Page of Swords is a card of curiosity, also kind of getting to the bottom of things, especially in the good stuff. So I would be looking for, you're going to have to, there are answers that exist to the things you're dealing with, and this isn't only challenges, this is like everything. And so I would be looking for answers, looking for information that can help you. You have the Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles is everything you want and desire in your life. It is the tree of life. And I feel that with Uranus, we'll be retrograding back into Taurus next month in November, but we're getting closer and closer and closer. So I think that Uranus and Taurus really triggers this right here for people. It triggers freedom. People, want true freedom with Uranus and Taurus, or are triggered to create more freedom in their lives. So if there are things that make you feel like you're trapped in a bullpen, you're going to want to escape, including relationships. Like if you have a person that's too smothering or that's too interested, right? Then that could be a problem. But also there are good things. You can create more freedom. You can create more financial freedom. And those are the themes that I would be focusing on if I were you, Cancer. With the Three of Cups, you have the Knight of Swords. Yeah, Knight of Swords is, it's coming up in the good stuff, but Knight of Swords is sky is falling energy. I always say Knight of Swords is someone who doesn't have all the information. And so I really felt the need to kind of talk about that with the Three of Cups. So even though it's coming up in the good stuff, again, I would be careful of people who are screaming the sky is falling, or, that there's some sort of issue. And again, it's not saying these are bad people. It's just saying that maybe they don't have all the information. And again, I think the biggest challenge with Neptune and Aries, especially, is that it wants us to get the information, and wants to, even Pluto and Aquarius. I think people forget this about Pluto and Aquarius. Pluto and Aquarius wants you to have the evidence. It doesn't want you to just blindly accept things in your life. So, if anyone is coming in, making you nervous, making you freak out about something, you should probably get to the bottom of it. With the Page of Swords, you have the Four of Pentacles again. So again, I think there are answers that will set you free, but you just have to go and look for them, right? With the Ten of Pentacles, you have the Queen of Pentacles. There you go. We have the King and Queen of Pentacles here. I always say that these two are a little bit boring, but luckily you have the King of Wands here. So, again, the King and Queen of Pentacles sometimes are a little bit too domestic, and they're kind of missing that spiciness that a relationship needs. I feel like you always get the King and Queen of Pentacles. Maybe it's you. It might be someone else, but that I'm thinking of. But I'm pretty sure it's you. But still, divine counterparts. Next, you have this flag card that says, do not be tempted to lower your standards. Yes, no settling. We are definitely in a time where none of us should be settling on anything, so no settling. You have this well card that says, family wishes come true. Yeah, it's a great time for family. You have really good cards of support here. 3 of Cups, even the 10 of Pentacles is great for support. So I feel you could be feeling very supported at this time. You have this wall card. It says misunderstandings. Yes, you are a water sign. This is another thing for water signs over the next many years. It's like anything you want to do, people are not going to understand. So you just have to do it anyway. I really feel this for water. It's like you might have a crazy ass business idea. People aren't going to understand it. Your job is to just do it. And it's like eventually people will understand it if you just do it, right? And so don't try to be understood. You have this hills card. It says obstacles to overcome. They're hills, they're not mountains. So it's like, yeah, there might be things that you want and desire, and maybe it seems like there are obstacles in the way, but they're probably pretty much not a big deal, and it will probably be worth it. So there you go. You have this fly. It says a period of ill health and depression. Yeah, I would watch your health. I think everybody should be watching their health during, basically everything that's going on, but also South Node in Virgo. We just had that eclipse in Virgo. So we should be taking care of ourselves. Again, you have a lot of great healing cards here, so anything you want to heal, I would. But pretty good reading here, Cancer. I do like it. So thank you for being here. Make sure to leave a comment. Really helps me out. And definitely enjoy your week.